I'll be like that TikTok just as this. I look at you to say what? To say what?
What?
Aren't you gonna ask me to be your Valentine?
Hi guys! So I would say welcome back to my channel, but this is the first one that I'm posting on my makeup channel, so welcome. I'm Holly. This is Blood, Sweat, and Lipstick. This is my friend Courtney.
Hey guys!
Her makeup YouTube will also be in the description below. So we just did a video for her where she started...
If you can't tell.
This is just my normal aesthetic, right? Like every time you tune into my channel, this is what I'm gonna look like. So we just did a video for her, or at least started to do a video for her with a Valentine's Day themed makeup look. So fuck the V-Day. We're gonna gore it out. So I'm like a demon who will rip your heart out.
And that's what she's gonna do to me, so.
I mean, that's pretty normal for me anyways, so.
Yeah.
Let's do it. So you're gonna get a little naked. A little bit. We need the heart area. Yeah. So we're gonna start in this area. Now, I know a lot of channels like to use wax and latex, and there's nothing wrong with using either of those products, especially if you're just starting out. They're a cheaper alternative to more film quality products. Courtney and I went to makeup school for mostly for film, also fashion and stuff like that, but mostly for film. So the products that I'm using today are going to be film grade, and I'll talk a little bit about what I'm using and what I'm doing. But if you're just starting out, absolutely use wax, use latex. It's super cheap and pretty easy to use, and it can get looks that are almost pretty comparable. So yeah, so let's start.
Let's do it.
So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw the area on Courtney that I'm going to have the ripped out heart. Can you pass the heart there?
This is my heart.
So we're going to see how I want to rip it out. Probably more like this, because otherwise it's just going to be like really big, and we're not getting that naked on my channel. I'm sorry.
Those are premium channels.
You gotta pay
You
for
have
that
to pay for it.
So we're not doing that today, but I think if we were to come around here, I'm gonna do something.
So the reason I can't speak. So the reason Holly is like half finished with her look that I did on hers, because obviously with filming, certain things have to happen at certain times, and we're both waiting till we're both kind of done to film like the final looks. So don't worry, this isn't like the finished look. She might look a little odd, but
we're professional.
Yeah. So I just want to go for my work, because in my work, like, disclaimer, like, it's gonna look a lot better. Just the finishing touches aren't added, but
right, the end of the video all look different.
Yeah. But yeah, please head to my channel. Check it out.
So I kind of drew like a little outline here of where I want to do the product and everything, and so I'm gonna mix up the product. What we use is 3rd Degree. It is a two-part platinum silicone, where we're gonna mix an A and a B together so that it'll create this effect that we want.
It's science.
So the nice thing about this product is that it's pretty easy to measure out. You just kind of eyeball it, and it's like 50-50 kind of measurements. So that looks like,
but if it's not like
too much.
Perfect, it's not really gonna do too much.
Right. But like you want to get it
as close as possible.
Yeah.
But you don't have to like measure like the teaspoon or tablespoon amount of it.
So like I can see this, I got way too much of my part B here, so I'm just gonna put some of that back. That looks pretty good.
We also have like our wine for Valentine's Day. It's like reddy pink.
Yeah, so if you followed along with the other video, you know we're already on the 2nd bottle of wine. So cheers, bitches. And we also have our V-Day themed treats that we're barely eating because makeup. So, you know, like the Valentine's Day is whatever, but we're kind of here for it, I guess. What else?
We thought we'd give something a little different than just like a typical. Anyone can know how to put like to be festive for just like an eye makeup. So we thought we'd do what we like and add gore to it.
Yeah, I'm big. I like scary, like bloody, stuff like that. And by the name of my channel, Blood, Sweat, and Lipstick, you know, you probably already guessed that. And if you're here, I'm sure you like that too. So we're gonna mix up the product. I'm gonna have to like wait and let it set for a few minutes because if I put this on her right now, it would literally melt into her boobs. And as much as I'm sure a lot of people would want to see that, we ain't that kind of channel, okay?
I was just about to be like, fun.
That ain't the kind of channel we are.
But if you do want to see it, comment down below. We'll start a premium channel.
You can pay for that shit because I got bills to pay.
Yes, many bills.
And student loans because, you know, that professional school ain't cheap. So.
Nope.
Please send money to my Patreon that I haven't created yet. Step number 2, I'll create a Patreon and then I'll link that down below. And you can help me pay off some of my student
start
loans.
a GoFundMe.
Right?
Help a bitch out.
Please pay off some of my student loans. If you like this video, like, subscribe, and pay off my student loans.
Oh my god, that should just be added to everyone's mantra. Like, subscribe, and pay off student loans. Thank you.
Okay, so this has kind of had a minute, and you know, working with this product, you gotta really work at its timing because it will go off and it'll just be done and you won't be able to blend it anymore. Or if you go in too fast, like I said, it's gonna melt into Courtney's boobs and not that kind of channel. So, all right, I think we're ready to go.
Let's go, baby.
Let's do it. Let's get all of this goopiness all over your titties.
That's all I've ever wanted.
All over them titties.
Okay, I don't know why, but I was expecting it to be really, really cold. So when it wasn't, I was like, wait a second.
So it's kind of like, yeah, I guess it has this like surgical, medical feel to it, right? Like,
kind of like when like the ultrasound, they're like, it's gonna be cold. It ain't cold.
Oh yeah. When they give you a warning that it's gonna be cold, those motherfuckers aren't lying to you. Like, it's really gonna be cold.
I always also find like nurses' hands are always cold.
Yeah. Probably because they always have to. Well, I was gonna say because they always have to wash their hands, but then don't you think they're washing with warm water?
Cold hands, warm hearts.
Mm.
Yeah,
Not all of
actually,
them.
although I heard an old lady once say, like, I was like, okay, so I was like in the emerge, I don't know why. Oh, I think it's like my grandma was in the emergency or something. And there was like another old lady like beside her or something. And the nurse was like, sorry, I got cold hands. And the old lady was like, well, you know what they say about cold hands? And of course the nurse was like, yeah, like warm heart. And the old lady was like, no, hot pants. And I was like, yes.
Alright, so I'm using some rubbing alcohol just to like blend out the edges and kind of like create a shape and a sculpture here that I like. That's gonna look like, you know, ripping skin and like I took her heart out because bitch, that's what I'm doing. So we want to have like raised skin, wants to look gnarly. Oh my god, my boyfriend is messaging me. He might.
We're a little busy.
A little bit busy.
It's not like you can leave this stuff and be like, it'll be fine when I come back.
Right, exactly. Like, after I blend it out, then I'll call him back. He probably wants to know if he can come home. The short answer is no. Later. He can come back later. Just for right now, no.
That tickles.
Yeah, I was going to say the rubbing alcohol might be a little more on the chilly side.
You really like it?
He really wants to get a hold of me. So this is starting to solidify now, I can see, because the product isn't really blending as nicely anymore as much as it is just kind of like tugging. And once it starts to tug, you're really gonna start just like removing your product. So we want to avoid that. And that's fine because we're gonna cover so much of it with like blood and paint that you're not really gonna be able to notice anyways. So just gonna move some of those edges. We're gonna take a few minutes to have that solidify a little bit, and then we'll be right back to get into our next steps. Okay, so after a brief pause for me to pick up my weed order, and also for the silicone to solidify, we also sealed and powdered the silicone as well. It is now ready to paint, so
Wow.
I'm gonna paint a bitch's tit now.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. So I am using alcohol palettes by Skin Illustrator. They are professional makeup palettes. They are activated with alcohol. Oh my god, who would have thought? So you use 99% alcohol with these palettes. Don't use 70% alcohol for anything. Fucking nothing. If you have 70% alcohol in your house, you throw it out right fucking now. It's good for nothing. I said it in the last video. It doesn't work with this. It doesn't clean your bongs. It doesn't fucking do shit. Don't use it. So we're gonna paint
Words
this.
of wisdom from Holly.
So I'm gonna start putting a little bit of black into the center. So black actually kind of shows up as a void on camera. So we're gonna use some black to make it look like a gaping hole.
Yay.
Didn't you want to gape tonight? Like,
Yes. Corin. Corin is Holly's cat, and she's so flippin' cute, and she just keeps staring over here, and I'm like, come here, I will love you. We were holding hands earlier. It was a really sweet moment.
and she wants love. She's such an attention whore, this cat. That's all she wants is love me, feed me, give me treats.
She's like sitting like turned away from us, but every so often she'll like look back and give us that long look like, oh, you're not paying attention to me? I guess.
Guess I'll just like go and be by myself looking cute. So I'm gonna start going in with some of the angry red tones.
Grr. I don't know what that was. I apologize.
We did a whole other video before this, so we're winding down a little bit. Ha ha ha, winding down. I know how much Courtney loves her puns.
Stop! My brain capacity can't handle a pun right now.
You want to get this girl going? Like, say a pun. Alright. Start getting some red in under here because we're bloody, we're angry, we're mad.
You know, we live in, but not really.
I don't know if you can hear her, but that's Corin giving attitude because somebody's in the kitchen not giving her treats.
She's so sassy, but I love it.
She loves to throw attitude. She's such a brat. She loves to get what she wants. But I guess like we all love to get what she wants. I ended up with a cat who's pretty much just like me. Like, pay attention to me, feed me, and then leave me the fuck alone. I guess that's kind of who I am, right? Like, I'm gonna prounce around and I'm gonna be fancy and I'm gonna get you to look at me and then touch me for a little bit and then I'm just gonna fuck off and go to sleep. Right?
Not how we all kind of strive to live our lives.
Alright. Let's make it a little bit more bloody.
Yay, blood.
So when I'm really trying to like press the color in under the edges because you want to really start to give that what's the word I'm looking for? Like, levels.
Illusion.
Yeah, the illusion that there's, like, levels, depth. So much depth.
Good word.
Something I clearly don't have that much of. Oops.
You know, just like it is what it is.
You kind of either love me or you hate me, you know what I mean? Like, there's really no in between. Like, I'm either that bitch where you're like, you're that bitch, or you're like, you're that bitch.
Fair. At least either way, you are a bitch.
That is true. There's really no fighting that for me, so you're either here for it or you're not. Ugh. Too much alcohol, not enough paint. We're removing a little bit.
Gotta find that balance.
Right.
Why are we having so many metaphors for life in like today?
Everything is a metaphor for life, I guess.
Even life. Now that's depth. I was gonna say something and then I just wasn't coming out of my mouth, so I'm just not.
Stony baloney over here.
I'm not. I'm just like, things are processing today. It's just one of those days. And also just like the small tappings kind of making me zone out a little bit. It's like it's weird, but it's kind of nice. It's nice to feel the love and affection and the touch of someone else.
You're like, hey baby, you want to come over and get tapped tonight?
This is what we need.
So I'm just kind of back to makeup a little bit. I'm kind of painting the edges here so that they look all like torn and bloody and just like really gross edges. Usually you would want to have reference, like a photo, something real that you can like work with to recreate. I don't know if you've been on Google lately trying to look up pictures of having somebody's heart ripped out, but you're not going to find much reference for it. So this has to be my artistic interpretation of what that would actually look like. So if anybody's just out there like, that isn't what a heart like looks like when it gets ripped out, I'm calling the fucking cops because you're a murderer. Okay, so I'm just starting to get towards the end of what I'm going to really do for painting before we start to like add the blood. I just want to get a few additional touches in here, like places where I see, like you might see underneath the silicone down here. Just make sure we're getting all in underneath that. And then I definitely want to make the black in the center look a little bit more solid so that it really captures like a whole.
Void that can never be filled.
Except by puppies and kittens.
I started bawling, not yesterday, but the night before. It was like late, and I was just, again, watching TikTok, but it was like a koala bear that like lost its mom, and they handed it a teddy bear, like a koala teddy bear.
Mm-hmm.
I guess a stuffed animal, I mean. And it like grabbed onto it and like hugged it, and I just started bawling my eyes out. I was like, this is not okay.
Aww.
Anything animal, I'm just like, you're so beautiful. I almost cried when I was holding Gordon's hand, not even gonna lie. I was like, this is so precious.
Honestly, Australia is on fire, and I haven't even, this is gonna sound terrible, I haven't even really put a single thought to pretty much the people who live there. All I care about are the fucking koalas and kangaroos, because all I see is like all of these images and videos of how they're on fire and their homes are burning down and they're
I honestly
burning.
can't even like look at it. It's sad.
So sad. And like all of this is happening, I can't even think about anything that people are going through, because at least they have the capacity to be able to like buy a plane ticket, drive away, stuff like that. These animals, they
And
don't
they
really
understand
have
what's
that.
going on,
Yeah,
too.
yeah, exactly. So, all right. I'm really liking the edging that is going on here. I don't know if you can see it.
A little bit. It's a little hard.
But I'm really, really digging like the edges that are coming here. So I'm just gonna do a little. So I just finished doing a little bit of painting around the edges and in the center to make it look like a black void. So another little trick that we do is something called spattering. We do it around the edges so it kind of blends in some of the edges here into the skin. Skin tones aren't even at all, like we have all these little spots and dots, so we're just gonna kind of mimic something like that. You do it with like skin tone colors, reds, greens, stuff like that, because that's all in your skin. So open your shirt for me.
She opens.
It's really just, it doesn't seem like a lot, and it really isn't. You want to go really glassy too, because you just, it's like part of the illusion. You're hiding your trick. You're blending it in. But you don't necessarily want to see the individual dots. It's just kind of really light to hide everything else. I'm going to add a little bit of the pink colors in to kind of get a little depth in there. So much depth tonight. All the depth. Like, I'm really trying to control where I'm letting the spatter go. And these small little brushes, I cut the top off. They're really good for that. You can use your finger as well, but I like to work clean, so I'm just working right off of the palette.
And like I'm doing, even though she's controlling, keep your eyes closed, because if the pops up gets in your eye, not going to be fun.
And like, you maybe don't want to breathe too hard, because
it's a strong alcohol smell.
Yeah. So I think that's pretty good. It like adds to the irritation, and it just kind of like breaks up the work that I've already done there. So our next step is the really fun part, where we start putting in all of the scab blood and regular blood. So kind of coming to the finish line. So I love the Ben Nye scab blood. I've tried a few, but I just find the color is really good and the consistency is really good. And I actually think that the older your scab blood gets, the better the effect is and the easier it is to work with it. So old scab blood.
Fun.
We love old scab blood.
Why does that sound like a name of something? I don't know, the way you said it, it's like, you know how you call him like Old Man Miller or something? You're like, we love old scab blood. Good old scab blood.
Good old scab blood, always coming through. We love old scab blood.
Old Yeller.
like we take him out back and we shoot him at the end.
Old scab blood.
I mean, that could go in the vein of this video, but I don't like the idea of shooting dogs. Let's find
I'm not saying it's a dog.
Spoiler alert.
Just kidding. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen it.
Yeah, I'd much rather find a human for that. Anyways. So, I'm gonna get a good chunk of the scab blood, because I'm gonna put it in the center, but I'm also gonna put it around the edges and just a lot of places. We love scab blood.
Drinking game, drink every time we say scab blood or depth, you'll be hammered in this fucking video.
Well, I'm just gonna preemptively drink. So it's really like, we call it scab blood, but in the industry they also call it jam, because, well, obvious reasons.
But
So.
don't spread it on your toast.
I mean, live your life. I'm not gonna tell you what to do.
I am. Don't spread this stuff on your toast.
Like, it might taste good. I don't know. They flavor a lot of these things.
I don't think You're like, you want to try?
Let's just test it out. Who cares?
I think it might be like chemically too. I don't know.
They have mouth blood, which you'll see later. And let me tell you, they don't make that shit taste good either, so.
It's supposed to be mint. It don't taste like mint. I don't like mint, but it also just doesn't taste like mint.
You're like, I don't like mint, but that's not the reason I don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't like it for other reasons.
Well, at least if it tastes like mint, I could be like, oh, it's a familiar flavor I don't like.
It really doesn't taste like mint, though.
No, it just tastes like, I don't know, but it's gross.
It kind of, isn't it like a black licorice kind of taste almost?
I don't know. It's
That's
hard
what
to,
I
like,
got from it.
I got some kind of sort of like a dentist feel from it.
Oh, interesting.
Not necessarily like fluoride, but kind of like when they have to stick certain things in your mouth and you're like, ugh, this should taste better, but it doesn't. Like, technology, let's go.
Just talking about sticking things in your mouth that should taste better, but they don't. I mean, like, I feel like that's a really relatable statement in a lot of situations. That's for another video.
And we're just gonna end with that.
That's for another video. So I want to get a thick layer in around the edges to kind of show that. And then I'll get a little bit into the middle as well, just to kind of give like a gross feel to the gapiness. Jammed up after my boyfriend just came home, so we had to take a little brief pause to say some hellos and that kind of stuff. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put some color underneath Courtney's eyes, because you'll get your heart ripped out and then have all of this looking flawless and shit. So we're going to make her look like, you know, tired and sad.
I mean, I already am, but we're just gonna add to it.
Right. Okay, you look at it. So now she's looking super tired. So we're gonna come back in a few minutes and we are going to bloody her up with some more of the finished looks. So. So I just ripped Courtney's heart out, as you saw, and I like to, yeah, thanks for joining me on that and listening to me talk a lot of shit, because I know I talk a lot of shit. So you can find me on Instagram at Blood Sweat Lipstick on Instagram. This is clearly my YouTube channel, so please like, subscribe, and, you know, send me money for my student loans. I will link Courtney's makeup, and I will also link Keri and her photography. Thank you so much for helping us out with this. And I don't know if you'll see a next video, but I hope you'll see a next video, since I'm pretty new to posting things on YouTube. But yeah, so hearts out.
like it's dark.
It doesn't taste good.